So in conclusion, I stopped being vegan because over a long period of time, my health declined, and it was very clearly linked to my diet because I figured it out. I went to a doctor and it was linked to my diet.
Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So I just got done watching this video by Blaire White. She's a very popular YouTuber and she's been vegan for nearly 10 years, but in her video she describes the health problems she was having as a vegan and why she quit being vegan. So I'm here to respond to her, and I want to make absolutely clear up front, this is not going to be one of my attack videos. She's not saying a bunch of stupid stuff like say Joe Rogan or the doctors. This is going to just be me responding to her reasons why she quit being vegan and why I think she's wrong in her reasoning. So let's go.
I hope you know I'm not attacking veganism. I was a vegan for 10 years of my life. This is just my story of why I recently stopped. Upon going to a doctor, I was deficient in so many things. In particular, B12, I was disastrously deficient. And if you don't know, B12 is something that is not present in plant-based foods.
All right, well, very sorry to hear about your vitamin B12 deficiency, but what you just said there about there's no B12 in plant-based foods, that's just simply wrong. As I'll show, even most meat eaters get their B12 from supplements and fortified foods, and it just takes a little searching to find there's plenty of vegan foods that have been fortified with B12, all sorts of foods. My personal favorite, perhaps, is nutritional yeast, and as you see here, one of the ingredients of nutritional yeast is vitamin B12, and one serving of nutritional yeast has over 100% of your daily needs for vitamin B12.
You know, being vegan, you're going to be B12 deficient unless you take supplements.
Well, that's just simply not true. The Framingham Offspring study looked at B12 levels in over 3,000 men and women and found that around 2 out of 5 of the participants were either in the low normal range of B12 or worse. But what I find even more interesting than that is that the study found there was no difference in B12 levels between those who ate a bunch of meat and those who were vegan, ate no meat. And those who had the highest B12 levels, well, those are the people that were taking B12 supplements and eating B12 fortified foods. So this study clearly shows that B12 deficiency is not some feature unique to vegan diets. In fact, vegans are at no more risk than B12 deficiency than meat eaters. And my own personal results back up what this study is saying. I've been getting my blood tested roughly every 18 months since I've been vegan, and each time I go back, my B12 levels keep getting higher and higher. How can that be? Because like those in the study that had the highest B12 levels, I take a B12 supplement and I eat B12 fortified foods. And as a result, my B12 levels are amongst the highest when compared to other Americans and Canadians. It really turns out to be a myth that eating meat is a great source for getting your vitamin B12. It may have been true in the past, but due to modern farming practices like, say, use of pesticides, destroy the bacteria in the soil which produce B12, and antibiotics destroy B12 in the gut of animals. Such a bad situation that farmers now fortify animal feed with B12. Well, you don't need to kill an animal and eat it in order to get the B12, since you could take the fortified foods and supplements yourself.
He said I was the lowest in vitamin D that he had ever seen. Ever. And it's also widely known that vitamin D is not something that's easily found in plant-based foods, but a lot of vegans on YouTube will say that if you just go outside, you know, there's vitamin D in sunlight, which is true, but I'm outside in the sun all of the time.
Well, it's not just crazy vegans that are talking about getting vitamin D from sunshine. Even the very non-vegan National Institute of Health is saying pretty much the same thing, that you get vitamin D from sunshine. It's one of the most effective ways of getting vitamin D. And they go on to say that very few foods contain vitamin D, and as a result, many foods are fortified with vitamin D. And that includes even plant-based vegan foods. For example, dairy has long been fortified with vitamin D, and likewise, plant-based milks are often fortified with vitamin D as well. And on the Vegan Society's website, they give their advice for vitamin D in vegans, and their tip is to take vitamin D2, which is always vegan.
So basically the doctor told me, so are you vegan? I said, I'm absolutely vegan. I've been vegan for damn near a decade. And he was like, okay, so you're going to have to either take supplements to make up for all of these things you're deficient in, which would be a lot of supplements, or you're going to have to stop being vegan.
No, you don't have to stop being vegan. I think your doctor's advice is a little biased here. I'm sure your doctor doesn't know too much about vegan nutrition. As I showed here, there's plenty of vegan ways to get vitamin D, sunshine, fortified foods, and vitamin B12, fortified foods and supplements without having to eat animal products. So why don't you just take some supplements, eat some fortified foods? But she doesn't want to do that.
6 pills every single day just to do that. So that's just dealing with me being trans. So I'm taking all these supplements on top of taking 6 pills a day just for my hormone levels. And I'm like, okay, something has to give. I am not going to destroy my liver taking a dozen pills every single day.
Okay, well, she said a lot right there. Let's just try to make some sense of it. First of all, she said she takes 6 pills a day for being trans. And on top of that, she's afraid to add new pills in the form of vitamin supplements for fear of getting liver damage. And I don't know where she heard that. I mean, yeah, maybe pharmaceuticals you have to be concerned, but I tried doing some hardcore Googling and research on getting liver damage from taking vitamins and supplements. And if it's vitamin A or niacin, there are some concerns, but nothing for vitamin B12 or D. So this fear is completely unfounded.
Just to make up for the fact that I'm not eating certain foods when I could just eat those certain foods.
Well, you can eat those certain foods, but again, those certain foods don't have to include animal products because those are basically fortified with B12 anyway. So why don't you just take B12 directly? Let me show you how I do it. Not sponsored or anything. Here's my B12 supplements by Garden of Life, My Kind Organics, and you're not going to get any liver damage from this. I just do this maybe sublingual spray once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, something like that. Some of my almond milk is fortified with B12 and I'm fine. Blair's experience here reminds me of a bit of advice I love to give to people. It's that when you're new to veganism, as soon as you can, go to the doctor and get your blood checked. Get your levels tested for B12 and vitamin D. The reason for that is that you need a baseline to know where you're starting at. So you already might be deficient in B12. You might be one of those 2 out of 5 people that's already low in B12. But if you wait like 9 years before going to the doctor and getting your blood tested, and you find that you're low then, you have no way of knowing if you're already low before. Veganism may have not even caused it at all. As far as you know, your B12 levels may have been going up as a vegan. You just don't know. So that's why you should get your blood tested right away. Furthermore, I find it kind of odd that Blair waited so long before considering, I'm a vegan, maybe I should take a B12 supplement. I mean, 9 years, 10 years is a long time to go. I can't imagine how Blair avoided taking B12 supplements for so long.
Honestly, another reason I stopped being vegan is I hate being the center of attention. And when you're the only vegan in a group of friends or in your family or in a group setting or a business dinner or anything, you are the center of attention because you have to say, I'm vegan, so we can't go to that restaurant, or I'm vegan, so, where's the vegan menu?
Again, I want to emphasize, this is not an attack video, but I want to leave some friendly but stern advice here. I'm just hearing excuses. For some reason, Blair, I'm hearing you just don't want to be vegan anymore. You'd rather go and eat the fortified animal products to get your vitamin B12 and D, rather than eat the fortified plant-based products, which are just as effective. I don't know what your doctor's been telling you, but there's no reason to eat animal products to get these vitamins that you're deficient in. You can do just fine with vegan supplements that are not going to toxify your liver. And this awkward social situation that you just described here, going out to restaurants with non-vegans, well, it's really not that hard. I mean, first of all, you can go to any restaurant pretty much and just ask a few questions, make sure they don't put butter on their potatoes or veggies or rice. You can pretty much carve out a meal anywhere. And in big cities, there's vegan restaurants or restaurants that have plenty of plant-based options. It's pretty easy to get your carnivore friends to go and meet you there, and they can enjoy a delicious meal too, because vegan food is so tasty nowadays that all people love it. So anyway, hope you reconsider, Blair. Really, don't take what I'm saying here as mean. I'm just giving you my personal advice, which is based on fact and science, as I showed here. So please reconsider not eating animal products. Eat the vegan products, the vegan foods, and supplements which are safe for you and don't involve killing animals. So everyone, post your questions and comments and advice down here for Blair. Remember, let's be cool. We're not trying to be these attacky, mean vegans or anything like that. Let's try to convince Blair to come back to veganism. So if you got something out of this video, hit like and share this with a friend who may have shared her original video with you. And until next time, Blair, come back to veganism and keep it carved, baby. Keep it carved.